This guy feels like a fucking like loser. Like he has no business being in charge. It feels like you can just tell that he doesn't actually know what he's doing, and that he really actually isn't probably even in charge of this institution. Either way, I really enjoyed some of this grilling. We can take a look here at him, being addressed by Eric Swalwell in the House to start off with.
I like Eric Swalwell a lot better in the House after watching this than when I liked him when he ran for president. Wasn't a fan of his presidential campaign. It was a dog shit one.
Yeah, 100%. He was terrible as a presidential candidate, but this was pretty good stuff.
Files or keep reading.
I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so
you haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest sex trafficking case the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen in modern U.S. history in historic speed, because the men and women of the FBI are given the resources to reduce the homicide rate, to reduce the drug trafficking rate, to reduce the amount of children that are being trafficked and the number of pedophiles. It
sounds like those children being trafficked would appreciate the director reviewing the files. You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at least be 1,000 times?
We have released every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can characterize the numbers however you want it.
Claiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times.
It's not. It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political innuendo so you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising article.
Time, Director.
Keep going, reclaiming your time, because the people of California are being underserved by your representation.
If the president is not implicated, why not release everything that involves him?
We have released everything, the president and anyone else's side, that is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter and baseless accusations that I'm hiding child pedophiles is disgusting. Anyone that says that needs to look at the stats alone and go back to the state of California, who's receiving the biggest surge.
Pause that really quickly, Gavin? Because one of the things that I was reading from just this morning on The Guardian, right, and obviously this was kind of a companion to this testimony, was that it was revealed the Trump administration retreats on combating human trafficking and child exploitation. Experts say decades of progress are under threat. Trump officials say administration remains committed. So this is crazy. The Trump administration has aggressively rolled back efforts across the federal government to combat human trafficking, a Guardian investigation has found. It's been a widespread and multi-pronged attack on survivors that leaves all of us less safe and leaves survivors with few options, said Jean Brueggemann, executive director of Freedom Network USA, a national coalition of service providers researching and trafficker survivors. Under Trump, key initiatives for fighting human trafficking have been cut back at the U.S. Department of State, Department of Justice, Department of Labor, Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Homeland Security, The Guardian found. Senior officials and other staffers have been forced out, workers shifted to other priorities, and grants delayed or canceled. So it doesn't really seem like, to me, there's any evidence that they're doing anything at all to catch child sex predators, really clamp down on human sex trafficking. In fact, all of the evidence would indicate that Kash Patel is completely misleading the truth and that they've actually done nothing but harm the efforts that had been previously put in place to implicate and charge people who were guilty of sex trafficking.
Yeah, and of course, that's not even the context of the Epstein case, which is totally, totally being all the evidence is probably being destroyed. Kash Patel is assisting in the cover-up of this scandal. The scandal that he fucking launched his entire career as an internet loudmouth talking about. If you go back 2 years ago, Kash Patel couldn't shut the fuck up about the Epstein files. Again, that was like his whole fucking beat, along with Dan Bongino.
That's why he got the job.
Yeah, along with Dan Bongino, that was their whole fucking beat. And to see this kind of gaslighting, again, it would be insane coming from anyone. anyone. If you were to hear this coming from like James Comey or any other former director of the FBI, you'd say that's insane gaslighting. But Kash Patel literally made a career off of talking about this and pretending that he was going to come in here and drain the swamp and catch the crooks and get to the bottom of the sex trafficking scandal. So it's genuinely crazy to see this gaslighting from him on this subject. And honestly, kudos to the corporate Democrats like Eric Swalwell, who normally are too afraid to get in the muck of and the mire of tabloid scandal and the Epstein stuff that obviously implicates Democrats like Bill Clinton as well. I'm glad that they're just like not giving a fuck at this point. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go there.
Yep.
Sources through my redeployment because the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco
my time,
need
Director. Remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the Attorney's
It's a simple question.
file.
Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is
painstakingly
simple.
Who
Did you
can
tell
be-
the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out? if
Yes
you're
or
gonna mock
no,
Use
Director?
the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No, A, B, C.
Director,
E, F.
it
Don't
sounds
wanna
like
do
you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's name-
country?
And by the way, he's trying so hard to be Trump and dish back what the fucking report. Like he's failing so miserably. He has none of the riz. He sounds like a kid, that's like that they can't think of a clever comeback, so he just says the same shit back to you, right?
I know you are, but what am I?
Right. And it's like, bro, just fucking answer the question. You're not sounding badass by trying to go like full Trump on this guy and be like, well, you're a disgrace to your constituents. Like, oh, like you're asking me tough questions. Well, guess what? You're a disgrace to California. It's like, I don't even know anything about Eric Swalwell. Maybe he is a terrible congressperson. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. I literally don't care. It does not make this line of questioning any less legitimate. It could be coming from anybody. It could be coming from the fucking Hamburgler. I don't give a fuck. These questions need to be asked and they need to be answered.
Oh yeah, 100%. If Donald Trump is Ronald McDonald, you hit the nail on the head. Kash Patel is the Hamburglar. He has big henchman energy, but not like a scary or imposing henchman, more like a fucking reject, lackey henchman, right? The kind of guy like a pipsqueak henchman, the kind of dude that's gonna follow you around.
Yeah, 100%.
The number of pedophiles that are
Director,
illegally
reclaiming
harbored
my time,
in your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California.
reclaiming
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you wanna
order, Mr.
work with us
Chairman.
on that?
Director,
I
reclaiming my
belong to
time.
the gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
Question has been asked and answered.
You have not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt. Director, did Donald Trump ever say to you, just find and release the entire truth? Don't worry if I'm in it.
The instructions from the administration were to release all credible information, and we have
Credible
done that.
information.
Did Donald Trump ever provide information about Jeffrey Epstein as an informant?
Donald Trump has not been, and I can only speak for the FBI, an informant of the FBI.
So, Director, you've played this
Wow,
cute
'cause I
shell
thought he
game
was a
where you
white
say
hat
you can't release
pedophile.
everything
Right.
because the court has
That's
said
what
that
Trump said.
it legally is not allowed to be released. But the court calls bullshit. Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in the Epstein grand jury transcripts pales in comparison to Epstein investigation information and materials in the hands of the Department of Justice. So let's move on, Director. You wrote a book called Government Gangsters. You identified 20 individuals
Wrote
in
a
that
book.
book. You put me on that list at the top of the list. Thank you. My children find it flattering. 20 of those individuals have been investigated or have had adverse actions. Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so
No, the
because
question
they failed
again,
to meet the muster in their
Director,
constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the
No, no.
audio-visual capabilities.
I'm
of
going to
terms.
borrow
I don't
your
think you can hear me.
terminology and call
I'm reclaiming
bullshit
my
on your
time.
entire career in
I'm
Congress.
reclaiming my time,
You've been a
Director.
disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my
You
time.
can
Will
reclaim your
you
time all you
recuse
want.
yourself?
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak,
He's
Mr.
such a
Chairman?
weenie.
Mr.
That's
Chairman.
the thing that he can't get over, right? He has no riz, right? He's a total L7 Dodger-sized weenie. Okay, the dude he's got nothing. And the thing is you can't play tough guy when you're not a tough guy, right? I know you think you're the FBI director, but nobody respects you, right? You have absolutely no pull. You have no weight behind you. When you strike, it doesn't hurt. It's flimsy, right? It's like you're like, I don't know. I just think that it's
You can
so
tell he's on
funny.
the defensive too because of all this terrible press about him related to the Charlie Kirk assassination and the investigation and the rumor that Donald Trump is like thinking about firing him. So you can tell that's all like coming out here, and he's like super stressed because he knows Trump is watching.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Pretty funny stuff. But let's take a look here. A couple seconds later, Pramila Jayapal took the stand, I guess, in the House Judiciary Committee on FBI oversight. And she got a chance to ask some tough questions as well. So this shit's so good. Normally this kind of stuff is boring, but when you have someone as annoying and fucking terrible and hateable as Kash Patel, again, it turns these like just random Congress people into heroes.
Recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, before you joined the FBI, you had very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding regarding Jeffrey Epstein. In a September 2023 interview with Glenn Beck, you said the Black Book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. In December 2023, you said, let us know who the pedophiles are. Even for a short time after becoming FBI director, in February of 2025, you tweeted, quote, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned. In June, you told Joe Rogan, quote, we've reviewed all the information. We're going to give you every single thing we have and can. But then suddenly in July, everything changed. You and Attorney General Pam Bondi released one video and said that there was nothing more to see. Your July memo says you uncovered more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence, but that you had decided no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That is a quote. I think what happened, Mr. Patel, is that suddenly you discovered that Donald Trump's name was all over these files, and you started a giant cover-up. So you are under oath, Mr. Patel. You just testified to Mr. Swalwell that you did not speak to the president about the Epstein files. To your knowledge, did Attorney General Pam Bondi speak to the president about what was in the Epstein files?
I can't speak for Attorney General Pam Bondi.
So to your knowledge, you don't have any information. The question was, do you have any knowledge? Do you have any knowledge?
I can't speak.
You are
for the
refusing to
Attorney
answer the
General,
question. So
Pam
let me
Bondi.
tell you that the Wall Street Journal reported that in May, Bondi told Trump that he was in the Epstein files, and at the same meeting said that the DOJ did not plan to release the files. Yesterday, you testified to Senator Kennedy that there was, quote, no credible information that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone else, and that you have,
Obvious
quote,
lie.
continuously and publicly asked the public to come forward with
That's
more
what's crazy. Can we
information.
pause it really quick and then we
we'll
can go
look
back and
into it.
replay this so people don't get mad that we interrupted. But the thing is, it is absolutely wild for them to come out here and say that they don't have any evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked girls to anyone. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Him and Ghislaine were only doing it for themselves. We know that's not true. You don't need your tinfoil hat to get to that. Pramila Jayapal, Congresswoman from Washington, she got to that, right? She's like, listen, it sounds like explicitly you're perpetuating a cover-up, right? You said you were going to do all these things. You finally got your hands on the document. You're like, wait, dude, we cannot release this. This is damning as fuck. We can't even deny. This is worse than the Access Hollywood tape because it's children. And our base has been rallied up because of QAnon for the last 5 years, 10 years, however long it's been. It's way longer than 5 years. It's been like, 11 almost. Crazy to think about how fast the time has flown during the Trump administration. But one of the things that it was built off the back of was Pizzagate. right? This whole idea that they were going to go after Hillary Clinton for being a sex criminal and Bill Clinton for being a sex criminal. And then, oh my gosh, wouldn't you know, their fucking guy is even more heavily implicated in it than the Clintons. He's so heavily implicated in it that they can't just release it all and then gaslight their own deranged, hysterical base into believing that Donald Trump was a white hat agent. No, that's not going to work, because I guarantee fucking to you, this evidence is so damning. It's so incriminating that they had to do this massive about face that they know isn't selling to their base. It is destroying Trump's approval rating. Between this, the tariffs backfiring, and the economy going to shit, Donald Trump is in massively over his head. He's underwater as fuck on basically everything. And you're right, he's probably going to start firing people, which is why Kash Patel's having a weasel meltdown right here.
Yep, 100%. It's pretty crazy to watch. And even Republicans know this is an issue for Donald Trump. As Mary points out, where all the Save the Children QAnon folks, this has been festering in the Republican movement for fucking years now, with the Pizzagate stuff, with the Sound of Freedom. Remember that shitty ass fucking movie came out like 3 years ago, and like all the conservatives like were beating their meat to it furiously and shit. Like, they fucking are obsessed with this stuff. And yeah, do I think it's going to cause the entire MAGA movement to turn on Trump overnight? Obviously it didn't. MAGA's still around. There's still lots of Trump sycophants and Trump faithful, but I don't think this is going away. And that's actually something that Senator Kennedy from Louisiana said to Kash Patel yesterday, even though he's a fucking MAGA dude himself. He was like, I don't think this is going anywhere. Kash, you need to release this because it ain't going nowhere. Like, the dude literally sounds like fucking Foghorn Leghorn. Hilarious. But he was 100% correct. He's like, dude, I'm trying my best to like help you out here, but this shit ain't going anywhere. Like, you need to fucking actually do something about it, because you can't just keep gaslighting everyone forever and hope that people will just move on. Not going to happen. Not with this story.
Yeah.
Today, in response to Mr. Massey's question, you appear to say that the survivors were not credible. These are survivors.
That's not at all what I said.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask you this in a second, but let me tell you about the survivors, and let's bring them up here into the room. These are women who came to the Hill and testified that they were groomed and raped at the age of 14 and 16 years old, and they called to meet with the president and to meet with the FBI and to have people investigate their claims. Some of them have never testified before. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them? You said you haven't met with them. Have you met with them? I'll give you one more chance.
My job as the FBI director is to invite
the
all
answer yes or no
leads
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any people on your side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the stats.
Patel,
and you talk about cover-ups, man.
Mr. Chairman,
you talk about cover-ups.
And I will take as much time as
Where
I
were
want.
you during the
Instruct
Obama
the
and Biden
witness,
administrations when these so-called cover-ups were going on? Why didn't anyone in those administrations talk to any of these purported witnesses? I have
some regular order,
every single person to provide credible information.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Washington.
And I'm going to take another
you
couple
accuse
of
the
minutes.
witness of something, he's allowed to respond. That's how it works.
Listen, he didn't even, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, you have always been fair, but this is not fair.
And you will get your,
this is my time, and he said that the witnesses were not credible.
Seconds of time.
I'm going to get an additional minute of time because that's how much time he took.
You won't get a minute. You'll get some seconds. What we think is under 5 minutes. You don't get to demand how much time you get. That's not how it works.
Mr. Patel, are the victims of the Jeffrey Epstein horrific trafficking ring, are they credible?
Any person with information about ongoing sexual trafficking.
I'm asking you if they're credible.
Ma'am, I'm commenting on the evidence we have. And we have routinely asked for people to come forward with more evidence, and we will look at it. And the evidence that we have was the same evidence that the Biden.
Imagine saying that with a straight face. Oh, like, we're just waiting for more evidence to go down this Epstein road. Like, there's just not enough evidence. There's probably more fucking evidence and documentation for these crimes than any fucking sex crimes in American history. Like, literally the amount of cameras, the amount of letters, the amount of notes, the trail of fucking paper, the bank account receipts, all of his various dealings with a whole fucking, rogues gallery of fucking world leaders, specifically from Israel. Are you kidding me? That you're waiting for the public to submit evidence? This isn't the Charlie Kirk fucking case, bro. You have the evidence this time. You're the one choosing not to release it.
Donald Trump now owns the apartment that was formerly owned by Jeffrey Epstein's brother, where multiple alleged sex crimes happened. And conveniently, Donald Trump now owns that property. Are you kidding me? That's one of the loose threads that people don't even talk about, but it's crazy because the former, the former Prime Minister of Israel's assistant was also documented leaving the Jeffrey Epstein party there one time. There's all kinds of crazy, astounding evidence, and they try and make you feel like a conspiracy theorist because you're rifling through all of it, and you're like, what? You're going to tell me that all of this is fake? You're going to tell me that all the Prince Andrew scandal was made up after the fucking entire crown ostracized him, kicked him out? I don't even think he was allowed at his own mother's fucking funeral publicly because of the scandal. You're telling me that was all made up, that they just did that for laughs? I mean, that Bill Clinton getting the fucking foot massage from a woman that's in the Epstein files, take them all down. We've seen it all. None of these people are being punished. It's crazy.
Yeah, just a few more seconds of this.
An Obama Justice Department had, and they determined, not me, they determined that information was not credible.
Chairman, he's not letting me even ask my questions.
You ask the questions, he gives an answer. You may not like what he says, but that doesn't mean you get to interrupt him.
Answering my question.
Mr. Chairman, could we restore the gentlelady 45 seconds so she can
We'll give
complete
her
her
additional 30 seconds, which is what I said
I'm going
earlier.
to keep taking my time
No,
because
you'll take
here's
the time
thing.
that you get.
You
get
are
30
not
seconds.
answering the question. The question
I
is,
have. You just don't like the answer.
Are these women credible? It's a yes or no answer.
I have answered the question.
Well,
and I
what is
keep
the
telling
answer?
you, I'm the only FBI director that has welcomed new information in this
Okay.
case. This
You're not-
administration is the only one that has welcomed any new information in this
Is there
case.
a yes or no to
Present
whether the
new credible
victims are credible?
information. Present new
Are
information.
the victims credible
The victims-
or not?
I'll tell you what happened in the last Trump
Are they
administration.
credible or not? You can't even
Victims
say.
credibly came forward, and you know what happened? President Trump authorized the indictments of
President
Jeffrey
Trump
Epstein,
called
not
them a
Biden,
hoax.
not Obama.
President Trump
No one
called
else.
the entire thing a Democratic hoax. So I would like to ask
The
you.
gentlelady's
if
time has
you
expired.
will
I gave her
meet-
the additional
Are you
45
fucking
seconds.
kidding me, Jim
The
Jordan, you
gentlelady
rat
yields back.
bastard?
The
This
gentleman.
is bullshit. This is partisan bullshit. She nailed his balls to the fucking wall, and Jim Jordan had to intervene. Fuck you.
Yep. So that was pretty much the tone of the whatever you call it, the House Judiciary Committee on FBI Oversight, which again sounds like the boringest thing to ever fucking be televised, but it's pretty entertaining, right? Pretty fucking spicy shit. Again, Kash Patel just sucks so fucking bad. Obviously, he's in a tough position here, given the nature of his job being to be a fake director of the FBI. His real job is to cover up the crimes that Trump is implicated in. So it's hard to imagine anyone really doing a better job, given that that's the circumstance they have to kind of exist in right now. But come on, bro. I have to imagine there's someone out there that could be that shameless, but also slightly more charismatic and not just coming off like a total whining fucking douchebag every time he opens his mouth, super defensive, unable to just answer a question without getting fucking all overly defensive and triggered.
Triggered is a great word. You mad, bro? That's what I would have said to Kash Patel.
Yeah, exactly. Again, if you just get asked a yes or no question and your response is like you're a disgrace to your constituents, it's like, bro, like what does that have to do with anything? Just answer the fucking question. Yeah. So again, I don't really know who else could fill this role for Trump, but if I was Trump, I would be like, face palming. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? This guy is one of the faces of my administration. What a joke.
I think that it's a blessing for sure that he doesn't have anyone that's capable of going out there and selling this shit better. I think it's really good for the American people. It's good for anybody who wants to see justice finally brought against these people. But I also think that you're totally right. Donald Trump has isolated himself from people who are the most talented, people who are the most gifted at their role, because he demands 100% fealty. He demands 100% loyalty. He demands that you kiss the ring and lick his ass too, right? He does not accept any kind of fucking, all right, I'm going to stand my own ground on this issue, but I'm going to be with you on this issue. No, he demands that you fucking keep it 10 toes down, whatever he tells you to do. And he wants you to lie for him. He wants you to humiliate yourself for him. He wants you to gaslight the world for him. And because of that, he has a bunch of lapdogs. He has a bunch of Kash Patels and JD Vances and Pete Hegseths around him. And they're never the smartest guys in the room. They're never the best or most qualified. Why? Because he just picked yes men. And you know what? Yes men don't make good advisors. because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're just trying to look at you and read you like a card player and be like, this is what I can tell my boss to make him happy. Well, that's going to fuck you in the ass whenever you need to lean on somebody who's going to actually have to do their job. And Kash Patel is not qualified to do this job, and he's showing it right here. And that's why Donald Trump's approval rating is falling apart, because he doesn't have anybody in his administration who can actually do their job. Marco Rubio is the closest thing we have to somebody who I would say is at least remotely, and this is not a compliment to Marco Rubio, even remotely by, global standards qualified for the job that he's in right now. And then you'd have to think that's the guy who just said that he wanted to strip people's passports away from them if they were too critical of Israel. So that's the fucking world we're living in right now. Okay. And Donald Trump, his Achilles heel is the fact that all of the people who have, been given jobs around him are fucking idiots. And hopefully we can continue to exploit that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, seemingly it's weird. Like, Trump doesn't really like to fire people as much. Remember the first administration? It was like every fucking week someone got fired.
Oh, I was about to say, like, he did in the first term.
Yeah,
but you're right. In this term, he hasn't.
He used to love firing people. It seems like this time he's like, these are the fucking dudes. Like, I'm standing by RFK. I'm standing by Cash Money. Like, this is the way it is. These are the idiots that run your fucking life. Which I guess is why it's so satisfying to watch Pramila Jayapal and Eric Swalwell grill them, because it does feel like we live in a fucking fascist dictatorship. And watching those moments, it's like there are still some pillars of accountability theoretically still standing in Washington. A few smart people that can like competently at least try to grill and expose the wrongdoings by these absolute clowns in control.
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there. Be there. The Vanguard will be there. Be there.